There's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've gotta find a way to bring some love in here today. Father, Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've gotta find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines and picket signs don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see, oh, what's going on, what's going on, yeah, what's going on, ooh, what's going on, ooh. Mother, everybody thinks we're wrong. Oh, but who are they to judge us simply because our hair is long? You know we've gotta find a way to bring some understanding here today. Picket lines and picket signs don't punish me with brutality. Come talk to me so you can see, oh, what's going on, oh, what's going on, yeah, what's going on, ooh, what's going on, yeah.
One of my favorite songs, and who does not love Marvin Gaye?
Oh, exactly.
What's going on, by the way?
What is going on?
What's going on?
Tell us, what is going on?
What is going on? I'm back again. I wasn't supposed to be. What's going on is that our dear Reverend Fred, who just got back from an amazing trip in Alaska, ended up getting COVID. So he's not feeling 100% and asked me yesterday if I would mind coming on. And that's what's going on. I said, yes, of course, because I love coming here and playing with you and Carrie and whomever comes in this spot, this celebration, this midweek celebration that you guys always have going on.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure to come. So I said, yes.
And we are glad you're here.
Well, thank you again, Pierre. And I look forward to these songs that you will be singing later on during this midweek service. Celebration is really what we call it, right?
We'll see you then. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I want to welcome all of you here to the Global Truth Center, Toronto. I am Dr. Liza Marquez. And again, I am so grateful to be here after being here last week. And I'm sorry that Reverend Fred is not feeling well. So we will absolutely be sending him all of our love, healing energy, and all that he needs, knowing that his health and his vitality is perfect. And that as he releases what needs to be released in order to show his authentic, vital, loving self, that he will be here next week. So thank you all for being here at Global Truth Center Toronto, as we said, your midweek celebration. And I just want to start by doing an invocation, a treatment to sort of get us grounded in what this service is today, and really what our month is. Since we're starting a new month, we ended last week with adventure, which was so much fun. And I'm sure you all went out and had an amazing adventure. And now I get the adventure of being here today with all of you and discover what our theme for this month is. So I invite you all to just ground yourself. I invite you to settle in, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and allow for those breaths to go from the heels, from your feet, inhaling all the way up, and your exhales releasing out, expressing that individualized version that is God, that is this universe, that is love, that is vitality and health. So inhaling in that power that you are, and exhale, expressing it in that individualized way. So what I know in this moment here, that there is only one divine source, one intelligent mind, a field of pure potential and all possibility. And I'm grateful to call into this time the blessings, the love, the life, the vitality, the energy that is to move forward during this time together, knowing that there is just one time. So whether you're watching right now or will be watching later, there is just this time. And there is in this time blessings of love, blessings of healing, blessings of abundance, blessings of life expressing in the most amazing ways. So I call this in for this moment right now, knowing that it is done simply because my word is my law. It is the law. So I just allow the beauty, the vibrancy to show through in this time together. And I release my word knowing that it is done with pure perfection. And so it is. So I invite our practitioner of the day today, Carrie, to come on with us. Hi, Carrie.
Hi. Hello. I am well, thank you. And I'm very happy to be here with you.
I feel like I'm always with you, but I never get this opportunity to be with you. So this is super fun for me, because usually you're like in the background, you're handling things, you're like the Wizard of Oz of Global Truth Center Toronto, just pulling it all together, which you do so amazingly, and you're such a genius with it. So, but now we get the opportunity to talk about our theme of the month.
Yeah. Yes, we will do that. We'll start with meditation though.
Yes, we will. So thank you very much for being here and reminding me that now is the time that we meditate, that we stay in that space of meditation. So thank you, Carrie. And I will be back to speak with you.
Awesome. Thank you. And let's take a moment now to just be centered. So this is your time. This is a gift to you. And even though I'm guiding you, this gets to be exactly what you want it to be. This is your time. I'd like to start this meditation with a quote from Rumi, one of my favorite guides. Your hands open and close, open and close. If your hand was always a fist or always stretched open, you would be paralyzed. Your deepest presence is in every small contracting and expanding, the two as beautifully balanced and coordinated as birds' wings. So today we are going to do an expanding meditation. And this is going to be a journey that is individual and individualized. So even though we're sharing it together, either now live or in the archives, allow this journey to be what it needs to be for you today. So become aware of your breath. If you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. And if not, then just let them soften as they gaze sort of into middle space. And let's start by becoming aware of your heart space. Okay, the center of your chest, right where your heart is. Our heart is an amazing organ. It's also an amazing electromagnetic field generator. So let's start right here with your heart. And just imagine you're breathing into your heart and allowing it to fill up. And then breathing out and being in that space. Breathe in again, allowing your heart to fill up. And breathe out and just feel what's happening in your heart today. Now, our hearts have many states and stages. Sometimes they can feel very flowing and fluid and open. And if you're in that space today, let's expand, expand, expand. But maybe your heart is feeling a bit contracted, a bit restricted. Maybe it's feeling a bit heavy or a bit sticky. There's so many things that are happening in our own individual lives, and our hearts sort of absorb and reflect. So wherever your heart is today, allow yourself to feed it what it needs. So as I talk about expanding to a wider area and a bigger area, allow your intuitive inner knowing to know where to stay. And maybe today, even as I talk, you let it all go and you just stay with your heart and keep filling it up. When you breathe in, and check in on it as you breathe out. And that's your only responsibility today, just breathing in, filling up your heart with love, with light, with the energy that is all around us, being fed us by universal oneness, by all the pinpoints of love and light in the world. And then as you breathe out, just check in and see how you are doing. Allow yourself to really experience that a few more times, breathing into your heart. And then breathing out and being with that. And if that's where you're meant to stay today, stay right there, breathing into your heart and breathing out and being. But if you feel like there's something bigger that needs to happen, needs to express, this time breathe into your heart. And as you breathe out, breathe into your entire body. And what does that feel like? So breathing in love into your heart. And then breathing it out into your entire body. And we'll stay with that right there for a few more breaths. And this may be as far as you go today, breathing into your heart, breathing out into your entire body. If that feels good and feels right, stay right there. But if you're looking for something a little bit more, now we're going to breathe into our heart all that love and light. And we're going to breathe it out into the room around us. Just letting it naturally fill up on the in-breath and allowing the overflow to flow out past our body into the room around us. And if you're in a room by yourself, just allow that extra energy to play in the space that there is. If there's somebody in the room with you, maybe extend out that love to them, surround them, envelop them. Continue to play with that, filling up love and light into your heart. And breathing out love and light into the room around you. And this may be where you want to stay today, and that's okay. Play in this space in your room. But if you want to go a bit bigger, allow yourself to breathe in your love and your light. And when you breathe out, allow it to expand out to your entire building. So if you're in a single family home, that'll be a bit smaller. And if you're in an apartment or in a condo like I am, just allow it to go beyond the walls of your space and into the rest of the building. Breathing in love and light. Breathing out love and light into the building you're in. And especially if you're in a building with multiple people, just imagine this loving light energy is, interacting in a really light and positive way, maybe surrounding, maybe touching, enveloping, whatever feels right with any of the beings that are in this building with you where you are right here and now. And this may be where you want to play this evening. You may want to stay right here and enriching those beings in the building with you. And that's a perfect place to stop and stay for the next few minutes. Or if you're feeling like you've got a little bit more and you want to explore and expand a little bit more, let's take it even further. Let's take it out. Breathing in the love and light, and as you breathe out, just imagine the waves coming out and exploring our city. And breathing in and maybe exploring the whole province. gently in waves coming out from your heart. And again, you may just want to play here, but if you want to go further, let's just imagine breathing in this love and light and breathing out and sending waves across the entire globe. Just allowing it to wave out easily, lightly, circumventing the entire globe with these beautiful waves of love and light. And as you extend it out, just trust and know that whoever needs this energy and this love right here and now, they can feel it, they can tap into it, they know it's surrounding. And this may be where you want to play, giving out love in general to the entire world. But if you like, you can make a choice to send out to someone or some group specifically. This is your time to play. If there is a person or a group you know just needs a little bit extra and you have it, your cup is full and you have extra, just allow yourself to imagine sending out to them what they need, love and light. And just know that that has been received with great gratitude. And now over the next couple of breaths, we're going to imagine breathing in, we still have the love and light, but as we breathe out, we're just shrinking our energy back from the world. Back down to Canada, back down to Toronto, back down to your building, your room, and back to yourself. Now I'm going to bring you out of it. Thank you very much. Maybe gently open your eyes. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Come on back to where we are. Thank yourself for this time. Namaste.
I took my love and I took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills. Well, the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise skies above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I build my life around you. But the time makes you bolder. Children get older, and I'm getting older too. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I build my life around you. But time makes you bolder. Children get older, and I am getting older too. I'm getting older too. Take this love and take it down. If you climb a mountain and you turn around, and if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide will bring it down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, maybe landslide will bring it down.
So beautiful. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for that song. I
It's my
love it.
pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. And now that we're all in this expansive meditative state, I'd love to bring Carrie back on so we can talk about this month's theme. I have to tell you again, I feel very, between the meditation and landslide, it's like, oh,
I know, right?
it's such a calm. It's such a calm.
Mhm.
So obviously I was calm before too, because I was going to jump right into our talk until you reminded me it's time for the meditation. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So Carrie, we're in a new month,
Mhm.
and I would love it if you shared with our community what the theme of this month is.
The theme of this month is expansion. And so, which is a huge theme.
Well, your meditation was extremely expansive. You know, it was really kind of getting you out of one space and growing you into the next. And so
Mhm.
my question for you is, how does expansion open your mind to infinite possibilities?
That's an excellent question. I think it's an inside job, to be quite honest. And that's how I see expansion. It starts in mind and in our bodies. Our minds have to know the possibility, and our bodies keep us honest. So I do like to think of expansion as being almost like what is the next step for, and that's how I sort of see it, because I know life is so not linear. And I love the expansion sort of keeps me in the moment. And if things are going well for me, and it's like, oh, what's next? What do I want to experience next?
Right.
And when I'm not really feeling so great about things, the thing I love about expansion and that idea is that it's not all up to me and I don't have to have all the answers. So it's a place for me to just sort of sit and be and just begin to be wondering and curious. So that's sort of how I work with expansion.
Well, and you bring up such a great point, because you said when you're in expanse, you feel expanded and wonderful. It's like, what else? What more? I really want this feeling. I want it to grow. And then when you're not, and you're feeling a little more contracted, and you're not feeling, the irony of it is, I mean, you said something so brilliantly, is like, and you don't want it, you sort of move into a different direction of what it is that you might want to experience, because that feeling of that you don't want to experience can also be expanded on if you stay contemplating it. Right.
That is very true. Yes, exactly. Can I give you one of my favorite stories, like one of my favorite expansion stories? Okay, so some people have heard this before because I've told it before, but way back when I started in this philosophy, it was about 2012. And I am a single mom. I was living with myself and my two kids in a teeny tiny home, we were growing out of. And so I needed to renovate or to move. And I got stuck in, and it got expanded. It's not possible to move into a bigger place. I can't afford it. It's not possible. I can't afford it. It's not possible. I can't afford it. So that started to expand, right? That's not possible. I can't afford it. But it was, being introduced to this philosophy allowed me to come up with, not that it is possible and I can't afford it, because that was too big of a jump. Because when I said that to myself, my body's like, no, that's not possible.
Yeah.
But I found, what is the next step? So it went from, it's not possible, it's not possible, it's not possible. And one day I just thought, is it possible? That was that was the only expansion I needed, from going from it's not possible to, is it possible?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So the next thing I did, I booked an appointment with the bank, and I asked them, this is what I want to do. Is it possible? And they went, yeah, it's very possible. You've got a lot of equity in your house, and you probably won't need a bridging loan, and we can float you this much money, and off you go. Thank you for coming in before you choose a home.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I that distinction of saying, I know that I can afford it, but I can at least open the door to the question, can I? Yeah. I've read somewhere that, I can't remember what study it was, but they did, when you ask yourself a question, your mind tends to answer it. And it usually tends to answer it in the affirmative. So meaning, because people say, oh, well, what about when I have an affirmative that's negative? That's because the question you're asking is negative. So if you had said, I can't afford it, right? Then it would have, yeah. So you tend to answer in the affirmative. So listen to what you're asking. And that's what you did, unbeknownst. You open that door to allow yourself to continue that belief. And here you are now in your new home. Well,
it's another home later, but yes.
Oh my God.
I turned it into a big home, and then I went the other way, and I went smaller again.
I love it. Well, expansion is in so many different ways, but it's all, like you said, it's all in the mind, right? That's where expansion is. That's where expansion is. Well, how, I'd love it if you let us in. Well, one more question, if you don't mind, really quick.
Sure. Yep. Go for it.
As a practitioner, how would you use expansion to help someone who comes to you?
In a very similar way. It's like, where are you now? And where do you want to go? So that's the expansion piece. How does that feel in your body? If it's a go, yeah, it feels great. Okay, excellent. Let's go that way and bring that into affirmative prayer. But if that's not a go, it's like, oh, what is a go? What can you do? So I love it because like the Rumi quote I had, like, we're not always going to expand, and that's okay. It's going to be a little bit, and then you sort of settle and a little bit more, and you settle. Sometimes you can have a big jump when you're ready, but sometimes if you jump too fast, you'll also come back again. So sometimes these littler ones over time you have expanded. So it depends on the person and depends on where they're at.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it too, because what you're basically saying is, in expansion, like part of expansion might sometimes be contraction, just like you said, the Rumi quote.
Just a little.
Your hands can always be open and your hands can always be closed. They're open, close, same thing. When I was in ministerial, I'll just share with you, it just reminded me, my favorite word, I can't tell you why, it just became my favorite word, was undulating. And so it's that same concept of like, just doing this all the time. And it's, I think also because it's just malleable. It's not just fixed.
Yeah. It's not static.
It's not static. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Carrie, for this conversation. Would you mind leading our service, our friends here online, and that we'll see later, on what our affirmation is this month?
Would love to. So I'm going to say it, and I just want everybody to really, really absorb it. My mind is open to infinite possibilities. And we can all say, we're going to say it twice. Say it twice out loud. My mind is open to infinite possibilities. And one more time. My mind is open to infinite possibilities.
Thank you. My mind is open to infinite possibilities.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrie. And we will see you a little bit later on in the service.
Thanks. Yep.
Thank you for being on. I think expansion is what a great topic. It's especially leading after adventure, talking about what adventure means to you and how you find adventure in not just, I spoke last week about adventures. For me, is what I thought is what helped me feel more alive, more of that unbridled passion. And what I came to realize last month was really that feeling comes from me first before I can actually experience it. But I thought the experience had to come before the feeling. And when I realized that the feeling comes before the experience, I can have that sort of expansiveness in it. And when you have the feeling and the adventure, and then have the feeling, they, as we were saying, undulate, they help each other out. It expands the feeling even greater. So I want to begin by asking this question to all of you. My first question would be, what are you expanding on right now? So just take a minute to think about that. What are you expanding on right now? And if you really would like to know what you're expanding on right now, if you can't answer that, you can just take a look at your life. What is showing up for you as a reflection of what you're expanding in life? And so my next question would be this: what would you like to be expanding on? So take a moment to think about this. What would you like to be expanding on in life, in your life? And as you think about what that and the answer to that is, I'll ask you my last question, which is, why aren't you? Why aren't you experiencing that, what you'd like to experience? So Reverend Fred, in his email, in his short email to us this week, he quoted Ernest Holmes as saying, "What we focus on expands." So do you believe this? Well, I think I'd venture to say that if you're sitting here online and you're watching this, you do believe it. You do believe that what you focus on, where you put your attention to, where you bring your awareness, tends to expand. And so going back to the first question, What are you expanding on right now? Now, I know it just sounds like a hamster wheel, right? What are you expanding on right now? What do you want to expand on? And why am I not expanding on it? And it just becomes a hamster wheel of all the things that you're thinking, want to think, not thinking, and then life, it's like that. But when we settle in, when we really settle in, as Carrie said, and open the door, whatever that may be, opening the door to something new. It's like you're putting a cog in that hamster wheel to now experience something new, right? That's the expansiveness. We tend to think of expansiveness as something great, which it is. And a small change can be the difference between something expansive and something that we're already experiencing. I mean, if you think about, how the I can't even talk right now. If you think about how some things are created, they're created with the smallest of things, aren't they? A diamond, a pearl, how are they created? A grain of sand, coal, something small like that can create something big. So remembering that, opening that door to that expansiveness becomes just by asking yourself, like Carrie did, asking herself a simple question. If I can't get all the way to where I want to get, what can I say? What can I believe? What can I know? Even if that knowing is a question, what can I know in that moment that opens the door to experience something new? So I'll tell you what, expansion is a practice. When I think of expansion, or I have in the past, I think of like the Big Bang Theory, right? Like something just expands right away, just becomes big. And the truth is, yeah, that is right. Things can happen big. Expansion can happen big in a moment's notice, as Carrie and I were talking about before. But expansion also happens in your life through practice. It is actually practice that changes your conditioning to experience something new. I'll say that again. It's actually the practice that changes your conditioning to experience something new and to expand on what it is that you'd like to experience. Because everything is an experience, isn't it? Really what we're talking about, whatever it is that we would like to experience out in the world, what we'd like to reflect back to us, comes from a feeling, comes from an expanded feeling of self. And that's the self with a capital S. When I am experiencing my expansiveness with a capital S, I'm experiencing all the world. So I'll tell you a quick story. When I was hanging out with some friends, we'd gone to a really beautiful dinner and we were asking ourselves some very philosophical and provocative questions. And one of the questions that has stuck with me, and it's this was 10 years ago, I think it was, the question was posed, have you failed greatly? And, everyone had their answer, yes, no, here, there. And I stopped for a minute and I said, I have not failed greatly. And it wasn't a source of pride so much as an understanding that I hadn't failed greatly because I hadn't risked greatly. And when I came to that awareness of understanding that in order to expand my world, because I was living very comfortably in a really wonderful world, and that was it. That could have been it, right? It could have. But at some point it would have started, that rub would have started, the metamorphosis would have begun. And that question that may seem just like a small question to answer was the very catalyst for me to understand that by risking greatly, I'm expanding my experience greatly. I'll share with you another story. And I will say this, that question, that experience led me to start my journey in religious science, in coming in, and not, it wasn't just religious science. It was unity. It was all types of philosophy, Buddhism. I just wanted to dive deep into anything that felt expansive, really, that felt like it was calling out to me. It was that question. And it wasn't that I was risking greatly, but what it did is it changed my trajectory from how I was living, where I was living, into something different, in risking greatly. And I often ask myself this question now: are you failing greatly? I don't want to fail greatly, but then again, what I do want to do is I want to risk greatly. And that is my barometer for me of knowing whether I'm expanding or not. I'll tell you another story. There is, and I didn't share it last week. There's a great YouTube video about the Hubble telescope. And I believe, I'm not always great with dates, but I believe it was in 1996. Talk about risking greatly. The team decided to move the Hubble telescope from where it was looking at in space, which was seeing all these galaxies and was reflecting back what was happening out in deep space. They wanted to shift it to a small area that looked like nothing. It was dark. There was nothing there. So surrounding all the other stars, all the other galaxies, planets, what have you, there was a small area that was just seemed like nothing. So the team took a risk and moved the telescope there. And for 10 days, kept the lens open to see if they were just staring into nothingness. Like, is this where the universe ends? Staring into this nothingness. And what they were astounded to find is that that space actually held within it millions and millions of stars and galaxies and more and more and more of the universe expanding itself out there. Now, they only saw that because they decided to do something that could have been a complete fail to them, because it costs a lot of money just to move it, to be able to experience what that is. And what they got back and what they saw, I mean, it only moves me to tears when I see this. And I highly recommend that you go to YouTube to look it up. It's under, I think it's Hubble Telescope 1996 Deep Space, I think is what it's called. It's so beautiful. And what it reminded me of that is when I am in a place where I'm not feeling, where I'm really just feeling down, where I'm feeling like there's nothing, I have to know that there's an entire world waiting to be seen, waiting to be known, waiting to be expanded on. There is never a time where there's not more life to be had, where there's not more love to be had, where there's not more possibilities, really, right? From that space of nothing, they were able to see all field of stars, all field of possibility. And so I share this story because I want to remind us all, and that's including me, remind myself that when I'm daring greatly, that I'm able to see that there is a universe out there which I have not yet experienced. And we can open the door with simple questions. For me, the question was, have you failed greatly? For Carrie, it was, can I afford this house? Can I afford a house? So understanding that statements and questions that stir up our knowing are really what we want. And moving into a practice, because expansion and experience that you want is actually a practice. And whatever that may be for you, it may be answering a question on a daily basis. It may be meditating. It may be taking a walk out. For the whirling dervishes, they whirled around. That to them was an expansion of their own universe in that moment. So I invite you to find that practice for yourself, whatever it is that brings you to that awareness of the self. Because in order to really expand, to expand our consciousness, we have to know our oneness. There is no division between what's going to happen, what has happened, and what is happening now. There is only one moment, that is this moment. And in this moment, there is so much life, so much expansion, so much vitality to experience if I start knowing my oneness with this entire universe, with all the possibilities, so that I know when I am in this place of oneness, I am in this place of knowing. And when I am in this place of knowing, there's nothing that I can't do. The possibility exists always. There's always the possibility. There's always the possibility. And I continue to say that so that really sinks in. There is always the possibility. And maybe that's your statement, to remind yourself that you can experience something new at any time. There is always the possibility. Now, am I willing to open myself up to the possibilities to enjoy whatever it is that I want to enjoy? There is, at all times. So one of the quotes that I saw when I was looking online is this, and I will leave you here with this. What you believe is all there is for you. Believe greater. So knowing that this is a month of believing greater, knowing that this is a month of expansion, knowing that the adventure of growing and showing and living and knowing are happening in this moment. So bringing your awareness, expansion, and love. Thank you very much. Namaste. So now let's move into our time of giving. So speaking of expanded consciousness, I invite you to expand your consciousness and knowing that what you give, as you give greater, you receive greater. And that is a truth. That is a truth, a constant truth of the universe. What you give, you receive. Your reflection of who you are is shown right back to you. So giving greatly from a space of love, from an expanded space of abundance, giving to the Global Truth Center Toronto, your spiritual home. And now the way that you can donate is simply by going to the website, globaltruthcentertoronto.org. I'm sorry, globaltruthcentertoronto.com, and you will see a donate button. You can hit the donate button. You can also send an e-transfer to info@globaltruthcentertoronto.com. There's also PayPal for those of you that are not in Canada. I'm sure we've got a lot of people from different parts of the country, different parts of the world joining us, and you are welcome to use our PayPal to send in a donation, and knowing that this donation that you give goes out to our community, goes out to the world. It expands our own center in its vision, in its expanded knowing of itself. This is our community. So giving to our community so that our community gives back is the perfect showing and knowing of the self. So I invite you all to give at from a big expanded knowing. And I'm not talking about the dollar amount. I'm talking about the awareness by which it is given. So giving from that awareness, I am grateful for it, remembering to donate on globaltruthcentertoronto.com, hitting the donate button, doing an e-transfer through info@globaltruthcentertoronto.com, and also using our PayPal. And Reverend Fred, I'm grateful to be a minister here, by the way. I love coming, I love showing, I love playing. So I'm grateful to be able to do that. And next week, Reverend Fred will be here with you all. Let's see, there's a couple of announcements, and let's see what I have here. Oh, yeah. While you're there, if you're not a member, while you're on our website and you're not a member of the Global Truth Center Toronto, make sure that you subscribe with us so that you can watch us on YouTube, which I think you can do anyway. So, but that way you get our letter, our e-news blast, and you can see the beautiful words of Reverend Fred, who always, I love getting his emails because I know that there's going to be something insightful. Just like I said, I used the Ernest Holmes quote that in my talk that he had on the e-blast for this week. Okay, so announcements, classes, the fall classes will be confirmed soon, and there will be more to follow. Don't forget, the community barbecue is this Saturday, September 9th. And it is, I said that I would try to come from LA to Toronto because, oh my God, why not? It's a barbecue. I'm from Texas. I love a barbecue, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. So I will try to make the next one, because who doesn't love a barbecue? I highly recommend that you go. So Saturday, September 9th from 4 to 9 p.m. There will be food, meditation, music, and so much expanded fun. Tickets are $25 and available through e-transfer at info@globaltruthcentertoronto.com, and be sure to write BBQ so that they know that those $25 are actually going towards your ticket for the barbecue. And I think that's it for our announcements. I'm very grateful to be here, and I would love to bring in Carrie and Pierre. I'd like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank these guys for always making me feel so welcome when I come here, and for making it so much fun. It's such a joy. So thank you, Carrie, for also not only being the inspiration, being our practitioner of the day, but also for the technicality, the tech that you do. I don't even have the right word for it, but the tech that you do. Thank you so much. And Pierre, for always inspiring us with, there's something wrong with my mouth today, inspiring us with your music that really grounds us into so much of the inspiration, so much of the love, and so much of the community, right? Are you going to be at the barbecue on Saturday?
I'm actually gigging. I have a music function, so I will not be there, but
well, knowing that
there
your
in spirit.
your spirit is there with us. So thank you all very much. And I want to thank the community out there. I'd like to thank all of you that are here on Wednesdays or watch it whenever you can. Thank you very much for your energy, for bringing so much of who you are and yourself into this community to us, because certainly we receive it. And now Pierre has one of my favorite songs to play.
Wonderful. I'm glad,
So thank you.
glad I picked it then. All right. I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Now I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be someday it's gonna come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Now I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah, come on, peace train. The peace train, holy roller, everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah, come on now, peace train. Now get your bags together, go and bring your good friends too, 'cause it's getting nearer, soon it will be with you. Now come and join the living, it's not so far from you, and it's getting nearer, soon it will all be true. Oh, peace train sounding louder, guide on the peace train. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah, come on now, peace train. I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Oh, peace train sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah, come on, peace train. Yes, peace train, holy roller, everyone jump on the peace train. Ooh-ah, ooh-ah, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, peace train. Yes, in the peace train. This is the peace train.
Thank you very much. Love the song. Thank you all for being here with us whenever you choose to join. And Reverend Fred will be here next week. Namaste.